Back once again with Erika Brown of the Cricket to get caught up on all things Manchester and Essex. How you doing, Erika?
Hey guys, how are you?
Great.
Good. And I got to see you in real life last week at the production of Seared.
That was so fun. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. That production was amazing at Windhover, and it's the Gloucester Stage Company, and I know that you guys are doing stuff on it. So what a great play called Seared. And it was great
More of that. Yes, exactly.
All right, Erika, let's start off in the West Manchester woods.
Yeah, I attended a Conservation Commission meeting last week. It was a marathon meeting. OMG. 6:30 to 11 o'clock. Stayed for the whole thing. A lot of interesting stuff happened then that I took close note of. A lot of interesting phrasing brought up, but one of the most nicest things that are happening is we got a report from Sue Brown, who's the town planner of Manchester, on an initiative that started 3 years ago concerning the West Manchester woods, which we've talked about. Where's West Manchester? It's behind Brookwood School and all the way to 128, and then over to Wenham, Grapevine Road and Gordon College, and then over. And believe it or not, it's 500 acres. Take that in, 500 acres. And I remember when I took over the Cricket, the first town meeting included the town purchasing a pretty critical piece in there called Christian Hill, if I remember correctly. It's about a 12-acre parcel. All those parcels, for the most part, are kind of landlocked. They call them woodlots. You know why they call them woodlots? I never knew this.
I know. You say it though.
It's where people would chop woods. They have a small sliver of land in the middle of nowhere that they would own so that they could go out, chop down some wood for winter heat.
Because it was so important. I mean, if you didn't have wood, you're in trouble.
Yeah. So today those woodlots are often abandoned, or they didn't pay the taxes on them and they were absorbed by the town. That's probably the most common thing, because this family doesn't know they own it and they don't pay taxes. And then sure enough, and they're not worth anything because they're landlocked. So the town has a considerable amount of land there. So does the Manchester Essex Conservation Trust. And this Christian Hill conservation restriction for 12-acre lot, and in there is pretty critical. They have about 70% or more of that 500 acres, and the CPC in Manchester has paid about $25,000 a year for many years for the assessor, the town assessor, Ginny Thompson's office, to essentially track down all those those deeds and to find out if the town of Manchester owns them. So here we are, we're on the verge of actually making them into reality. This is, in the end, the vision is going to be that they're going to be trails, and the school will be able to ideally use them for, the green team and to study and to use them. There's going to be trails for walking and hiking and perhaps biking. That's the idea. So they're at the beginning of starting it. They're going to hire, I believe, a gentleman by the name of Nick Holland, who is with, and you guys might be familiar with him because he's with the Cape Ann Trails Steward. And he did a big project with with Dogtown, I believe, and he lives in Gloucester. Anyway, they're going to bring him in, and that organization is going to essentially partner with the town to make sense and manage, how to manage the whole thing. So it's still a couple of years off, but it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a real gem for the town in terms of just conserved space. And hats off to all the boards that are working on it. I think it's definitely Sue Brown has been kind of leading this along, but the Concom and the Sustainability Committee is going to be involved in the school district as well.
Well, you need a catchy name like Dogtown. That's my advice, right?
I don't know if we have, a space that would have the mystique of Dogtown.
That's true. We've got that. Yeah.
Well, a nice story all around. Another nice story, Erika, is the Shave the Day fundraiser.
Yes, that's been going. It's the 7th annual, which I couldn't believe it's the 7th annual. Dawn Burnham spearheaded this. It's a fundraiser for St. Jude's for cancer, and you shave your head. It's like a marathon, or a bike-a-thon, except you get paid for shaving your head.
Erika, Heather, no?
Well, today it's so hot, I'm ready to do it. So.
I agree with you there. So Dawn Burnham, who everybody knows Dawn Burnham in Essex, she will dye her hair in these wild colors. I've seen her hair green, I've seen her hair pink and blue, and this year it was pink again. Because she knows it's all coming off. So she does that. This year was a little different because it was more of a block party feel. It was at the Village restaurant. The whole parking lot was open. The Lions were there. They were cooking hamburgers and hot dogs. They charged for them, and they give 100% of the money for charity. And men get in the act now too. First, it was only women who shaved their heads, and then men will do it as well out of solidarity. It's not quite as painful or as it is for a woman to boom shave off.
Depends on the man.
That's true.
We've seen a lot of pretty hair out there.
Has to go, right?
But it's a real wonderful thing. There were a lot of people there. There was music. It was really a lovely feel, and they raised $8,400, so just shy of $8,400. And the cumulative total so far for their efforts so far has been over $50,000 they've raised. Isn't that nice?
Amazing.
Very cool.
Does the hair go to any place special, like Locks for Love?
Yes, they've done that in the past. This year, I don't believe they had anybody whose hair was going there, but I covered it 2 years ago, and there were a couple people whose hair went for Locks for Love.
Nice.
So there's a pretty good black market for red hair out there, by the way. Just throwing it out there. And another cool story and a beautiful pictorial too is the Postcards Home section.
Yeah, the Postcards Home we have, which I don't know if you remember this, but it's a column that is inspired by the first editor and publisher of the Manchester Cricket, I.M. Marshall. He retired in the 1920s. And he started traveling to these exotic places at the time. He went to Russia, he went to Denmark, and he went to the Olympics in Los Angeles in 1936.
Wow. Berlin would have been 36,
36, right? That's exactly. I was thinking Jesse Owens, but in the 30s it was in Los Angeles. But anyway, so we got that idea for Postcards Home because he always used to write a write-up from his travels, and it would run on the front page of the Cricket. And it always started, "Dear friends at home." It was the sweetest thing. And he'd talk about these exotic things. So this week we have a resident, Todd Johnson, who wrote a beautiful piece about, get this, Almost Heaven, West Virginia. There's a town in West Virginia called Almost Heaven. I didn't know that. It's not just a John Denver lyric.
No, it really is. And as we were saying before, I've been to West Virginia, and it actually really is almost heaven. I get the song.
I get it too. The pictures he sent, I had a hard time picking them, and they're beautiful. Well, his twist is that he's been there 10 times to Almost Heaven, West Virginia, with Habitat for Humanity. He's brought his daughter and her friends, and he has a very comedic and funny but beautiful and heartfelt write-up about what his experience has been and how special it's been to go there and help families and build houses with his daughter and her friends. And my favorite thing is, on day one, they were like, "We don't know how to do this." And on day one, they'd say, "What's this?" And his answer would be, "It's wood." and then they said,
"How do you build a house?"
"How do you build a house?" "Wood."
What is the theme of the show, I think?
Yeah, exactly. So he ended up writing this beautiful piece, and it's a very, very nice feature that I like, because for the paper to have readers contribute and write things that are and share things with their neighbors in our community, it's a really nice thing. So it's one of my favorite things is Postcards Home. So I'm biased.
It's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful, column that you have there. But I have to say, I'm reading it and I'm thinking, yeah, I've always wanted to do Habitat for Humanity. And then right then he says, for all of you who have always said you always wanted to do Habitat for Humanity, just go do it. So,
yeah, and he said that there's a lot of opportunity on Cape Ann.
Yes.
He did. So I would never have known that. I did not know that. So I learned a little. So maybe if people are inclined for kind of a service vacation, it's a great read and a very interesting. And if you're curious about West Virginia, it's a great read too.
Yeah, great stuff as always, Erika. Get the Cricket, folks. You don't know what you're missing. We'll see you next time around.
Bye, guys.
Bye.